Now at 5, Joplin's new police chief is sworn in by city officials. Plus, Watered Gardens in Joplin opens up its annual Christmas market, and
the U.S. continues to push Israel to move to low-intensity operations against Hamas. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House as the Biden administration reiterates its support for Israel, but urges for more aid to help civilians in Gaza.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin officially has a new police chief. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. City officials today swore in Richard Pearson as the chief of the Joplin PD. Pearson previously served as the captain of the Jefferson County Public School System Police Department in Louisville, Kentucky. He also served 22 years with the Louisville Metro Police Department. He says a big goal as chief is to improve communication with the public.
I want to have an intimate working relationship between the police and the public. I don't want there to be any of this us versus them mentality. I don't want anybody in the public to think, oh, there's the police, we can't approach them, we can't talk to them.
Pearson says he also wants to develop a close relationship with the Joplin School District. Watered Gardens in Joplin today kicked off its annual Christmas market. Now, during the week leading up to Christmas, they offer toys, games, clothes, and stocking stuffers to families who would otherwise struggle to afford them. The items are donated by the community, but instead of assigning a price, they're given a time stamp. The amount of time for shoppers to work in Watered Gardens worth shop and earn the gifts they choose.
That parent has selected the gifts for their kids. It's not something where someone else just handed it to them. They get to have an investment in it, ownership of it. It affirms their dignity, and I think it makes Christmas great for those who might otherwise have really had nothing.
Gives people that are, that are a little under, the people that are struggling, an opportunity to make themselves feel better by giving, which we don't normally get a chance to do that. So,
Watered Gardens Ministries also provides a gift wrapping area. The Christmas market happens every day this week through Friday, except on Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Shopping and working must be done on the same day. Christmas came early for some Carthage students in the form of books. Kindergarten students received a variety of titles, including the book Giraffes Can't Dance. It's all part of a donation from the Literacy Council Board. Officials say these books will go a long way to make sure every student is reading at least on level.
We believe that if a child isn't reading at grade level by grade 3, the chances of a successful educational experience falls off the chart. And we believe that parents are not reading to their children, so we're trying to give books away and kind of force the issue.
Organizers handed out more than 900 books. Clear day, kind of cool out there though. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, after we got some rain over the weekend, it was a light rain Friday into Saturday out of here yesterday. If we look at a rainfall for the month, we're in the middle of the month. We've only had about 0.2 of an inch, but we do have more rain, which is going to be in the forecast as we go through later on this week. Right now we're dry, temperatures chilly. We're sitting into the upper 30s in Joplin, also in Pittsburgh, 37 in Carthage, 43 at Grand Lake. Chanute is checking in at 41 degrees and a little breezy out there. We've had those northerly winds kicking in at about 5 to 10 to 15 miles per hour at times throughout the afternoon hours for us today. But clear skies. However, our next storm system starts to brew out to the west, so that's going to bring clouds in tonight. We'll talk about rain chances here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. The U.S. says its support for Israel in the war against Hamas is ironclad. But still, the Biden administration is urging Israel to do more to protect civilian lives. Skyler Henry has more details now from the White House.
Hamas released a new video showing 3 of the 129 hostages it's holding. Hamas says it will not negotiate their return until the fighting stops. Israel says the fighting will not stop until the hostages are safe.
By the end of the war, as long as it takes, we need to make sure that we have our hostages back, that we eliminate the Hamas abilities.
Israeli leaders met with U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin Monday. He reiterated American support for Israel in its war against Hamas, but the U.S. wants Israel to do more for the civilians caught in the crossfire.
We will also continue to urge the protection of civilians during conflict and to increase the flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza.
Secretary Austin said America is not trying to dictate timelines for Israel's military, but the U.S. is still urging Israel to quickly reach the next phase of its war.
We also have some great thoughts about how to transition from high-intensity operations to lower intensity and more surgical operations.
Israel says they are working to clear Hamas out of Gaza bit by bit.
In every area where we achieve our mission, we will be able to transition gradually to the next phase and start working on bringing back local population.
Israel says it has no plans to control Gaza when the war is over. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Now, while the fighting in Gaza south of Israel continues, the threat from Hezbollah attacks in the north of Israel are on the rise, leading Israel's Defense Forces spokesperson to say they're closer to war with Hezbollah today than they were yesterday. The federal government is trying to make it harder for officers found guilty of misconduct to get hired at other departments. The Justice Department launched a new national database to centralize information on the misconduct of federal officers. It'll flag them during the hiring process for law enforcement positions. Now, right now, the database applies only to federal officers, but officials are working to allow state, local, and tribal agencies to also participate. Still ahead, a new way of getting around.
An old way of flying is getting a new look. I'm Ian Lee with a cleaner and quieter way to travel.
And next in Health Watch, what a new study shows about how fentanyl use while pregnant can impact the baby. Topping today's Health Watch, an experimental drug is showing progress in treating chronic kidney disease. Findings published in The Lancet show the drug significantly reduced albuminuria, a sign of kidney damage, in half of patients. It was even more effective when paired with other medications. The medication still needs additional trials before the findings can be confirmed. A groundbreaking new study links babies with birth defects to their mother's fentanyl use. Reporter Stephanie Stahl explains this first-of-its-kind research and speaks to the adoptive mother of one child impacted.
We do bubbles.
2.5-year-old Sammy loves bubbles. He was part of a new study from Nemours Children's Health that found congenital abnormalities in babies born to mothers who use fentanyl.
You see the short nasal tip. He had a cleft palate.
We're not using his last name to protect his privacy, but his mother by adoption and doctors wanted to share Sammy's story to help raise awareness.
This didn't have to happen, and that's the biggest gut-wrenching part of it, is that knowing that this was all avoidable, and people just need to understand that.
Doctors were able to confirm that Sammy's biological mother used fentanyl when she was pregnant. He's among 10 babies covered in the Nemours study with birth differences related to fentanyl abuse.
These babies are born with birth defects, including a cleft palate that Sammy had. They have small head size, small size. They have hand differences. Sammy also had a club foot like other children.
Dr. Karen Grip says it's known that fentanyl causes birth defects, but Nemours' new study documenting the specific similarities indicates the emergence of a novel syndrome linked to the fentanyl epidemic.
I'm concerned that there are many more undiagnosed patients out in the country that need to be recognized.
For this study, researchers here at Nemours were able to eliminate other potential causes for the abnormalities.
It was sort of like an aha moment.
Genetic counselor Erin Wadman first noticed the pattern, and testing showed no genetic cause.
It really seems to be pointing back to the fentanyl during the pregnancy.
He loves music and lights and doing new things.
Mom says Sammy doesn't walk or talk yet and depends on a feeding tube, but extensive therapy is helping.
It's hard as a parent to know that the odds are already stacked against my son, and I do everything I can every day to make sure that he doesn't feel that.
Sammy is among 6 of the babies in the study still being treated at Nemours. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Few opioid overdose patients are receiving a treatment that could be beneficial. A study in the Canadian Medical Association Journal found after being treated for an overdose, only 4% of patients were given opioid agonist therapy. That medication-based treatment has shown to be effective in reducing deaths and illnesses. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, why Quaker Oats is recalling dozens of its granola bars and cereals.
Plus, we have more rain in the forecast. We're going to be looking at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Monday for us today. Temperatures fantastic as we went into the afternoon hours for us today. It was a little chilly, but still a pretty good day for the middle of December. We do have rain chances, which are really going to start to increase as we go through the next few days. Outside right now, it looks pretty good. This is our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. This is our tower cam, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Clear skies, but it is going to get cold tonight. Those temperatures, they're really going to drop off. 39 Nevada, 38 in Neosho. Grand Lake is sitting at 43, 41 is where we sit right now in Chanute. Let's go outside. Here's 7th. Here's range line. 38 northerly winds at about 10. Visibility is good. A little breezy. We've had those northwesterly winds at about 5 to 10 to 15 throughout the day. But these are going to turn around out of the south as we go into tomorrow and really start to increase. So we're going to have winds gusting near 30 tomorrow, pushing 40 once you get into our western counties, and it stays windy again all the way into Wednesday afternoon as well. So the next couple days kind of breezy, kind of a knock over trash can day for you Tuesday and your Wednesday, so you may want to secure that down. Through the evening, slipping back through the 30s into the 20s. It is going to be a cold night for us tonight, but we do have pretty much clear skies. We'll get a few clouds sneaking in here late tonight, but look at the western third of the country. A lot of clouds, a lot of real estate. Now we're going to warm up. Ridge of high pressure. You can see this bump here right over the Rockies, and then just west of that, here comes our next several waves, which are going to give us rain as we head a little bit later on in the week. All right, let me walk you through tonight into the next couple days. Mid-20s, some mid and upper level clouds late. Mostly cloudy tomorrow. It's going to be windy. Upper 40s by noon. I think most of us get up 53, 54 degrees during the afternoon. As we go into tomorrow night, still the clouds pretty thick across the region. On Wednesday, cloudy skies. We can't rule out a sprinkler or two, especially late in the day. But look at our highs into the mid to upper 70s, so it gets even warmer. And then as we go into Wednesday night, clouds stick around and showers start to pop up by the time we head into Thursday morning. So rain is going to return, which of course we need. We didn't get a lot of it over the weekend. All right, day planner for you tomorrow, 44 by 11. 51 by 3 will drop back into the 40s, mostly cloudy skies. All right, let's go down the road because, of course, we're heading into a holiday weekend, a lot of people traveling, and it is going to be wet. We got rain Thursday night into Friday morning, a little bit of a break. Here it comes again, Saturday, rain across the region, thunderstorms rolling in by Christmas Eve. It's not going to be a white Christmas. We had one last year, but it will be a wet one. All right, 51 for us tomorrow, 58 on Wednesday, a sprinkle or two, 58 Thursday, showers. And then look at this, rain, thunderstorms, showers on Christmas Day. And look at our temp on Christmas Day, still a high temp of 62.
Wow, doesn't seem like it would be that high
No,
on December
kind of crazy.
25th. We need the rain, as you said.
We do.
Thanks you, Doug. Coming up, a new hybrid version of a blimp is trying to offer a cleaner way to transport both people and cargo. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Quaker Oats is recalling more than 24 of its granola bars and granola cereal because the products might be contaminated with salmonella. Overall, the company is recalling 25 types of chewy bars, 10 types of granola bars, 8 types of granola cereal. The company says if people have any of the products, they should throw them out immediately. Quaker says it has not received any reports of anyone actually getting sick. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is alerting consumers of a massive chicken recall. Simmons Prepared Foods Incorporated is recalling more than 26,000 pounds of TGI Friday's boneless chicken bites products. Products might be contaminated with pieces of clear, hard plastic. You don't really want that in your chicken bites. There have been no reports of injuries. If you still need to ship Christmas gifts, well, you should get that done as soon as possible. Here are the last days to mail a package in order for it to arrive by Christmas Eve. FedEx says tomorrow for FedEx Express Saver or 3-day freight, and Thursday for FedEx 1-day. The United States Postal Service says the last day to use Priority Mail Express is Wednesday. As for UPS, well, it recommends packages be shipped out by tomorrow for 3-day select or Thursday for next day air. An old way of air travel is getting a brand new look. A company in England is creating helium-filled aircraft that fly and look like blimps. Hybrid Air Vehicles hopes its ultra-low emissions aircraft can revolutionize how people and cargo move. Ian Lee reports.
Looking at it, you might think it's a blimp. Some nicknamed it the Flying Bum, but makers of the Airlander 10 call this the future of flight.
What we have here is an aircraft that's using helium, it's using the same stuff that blimps use, just to get a little head start against gravity, but not enough to float.
Tom Grundy from Hybrid Air Vehicles is getting the concept off the ground.
I got 16 Olympic swimming pools worth of helium up there.
But it's the 4 engines that push it airborne with the aerodynamics of an airplane.
That's why we call it a hybrid aircraft. It's a hybrid of an aeroplane and an airship.
But the similarities to an airplane end there. Big glass windows give a panoramic view.
It's a bit more like being in the airport lounge than it is being on the airplane.
Quieter.
Quiet, low vibration, none of that bouncy turbulence that we're all used to.
The aircraft will initially be fitted out with 100 seats to travel up to 250 miles at 80 miles an hour.
Like a ferry, it can go to a terminal in the middle of a town rather than having to land at an airport a long way out.
How much greener is air travel on one of these versus an airplane?
In most cases, 90% fewer emissions.
The body of the aircraft is made of a thin, reinforced material that's pretty tough. And when it comes to safety, science has come a long ways since the infamous Hindenburg disaster.
Everything since 1937 that we've done in aerospace makes this safe.
The company hopes airlines will be welcoming you on board and flying high before the end of the decade. Ian Lee, CBS News, Bedford, England.
A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, we're going to meet a successful business entrepreneur and landlord who's giving back in a big way for the holidays. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the annual Christmas market hosted by Joplin's Watered Gardens. Touching story. Plus, the world's largest edible gingerbread village is on display in Kansas City. We're going to check it out. And a former championship winning Pitt State head football coach gets a new job in the SEC. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. A Christmas blow mold collector got the chance to spread his passion along with some Christmas cheer. Now, if you don't know what that is, well, we'll tell you. It's a type of decoration. Since the age of 8, Dustin Molinaro has been collecting Christmas blow molds. It's a hobby he picked up from his grandparents. This holiday season, the Joplin History and Mineral Museum is showing off his collection, but only about a third of it.
I have about 350. There's about 120 here in the museum, about 100 in my front yard, and then about 100 inside my house.
We're going to hear a lot more from Dustin tonight at 6. That's another story you're going to want to catch. The weather's kind of chilly and damp and nasty out there.
It's going to be cold tonight. We're going to drop back into lower 20s for our overnight lows. A little bit warmer for us tomorrow, back to 51. A lot of clouds and then warming up even more with rain chances by Wednesday.
Thanks, Doug, and thank you for joining us. CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.